Talk about misinformation, but you've given us a ton of misinformation right now. You said, seems like nobody in MAGA even wants to talk about any of the issues of Donald Trump. Had multiple debaters come up, talk to you about multiple economic policies, compare and contrast them with Kamala, gave you great reason.
I don't think I heard any economic policy from Trump when he was in for a year.
Okay. No, back up. Now you're switching the claim. So what you just claimed is, I don't hear MAGA people talk about this at all.
I don't think I heard any.
That's what you said, and yes, they did. They brought up the capital gains policies. They also brought up tariffs. They brought up the tariff policies. They brought up multiple economic policies. Total misinfo.
Okay.
Total misinfo for you to say they didn't. They absolutely did. Are you disputing that nobody here brought up any policies of Donald?
I think that when you're talking policies from somebody, if the only thing you have are tariffs, it's not really a strong policy foundation.
I'm sorry. Did you use the word any? You don't hear anybody talk about that?
I'm speaking like a human being right now.
Oh, but when Donald Trump speaks like a human being, he's a liar.
Trump doesn't speak like a human being.
Yeah, he's
a moron.
Anytime.
I'm sorry, but Donald Trump speaks like an idiot.
So would you say it's misinformation, for instance? Is it misinformation when you say that a firefighter who got murdered at a rally, when you laugh at that and you say that that's totally fine, are you spreading misinformation?
I don't know if I said that's totally fine. I think I said I don't really have any sympathy.
No, you didn't. You laughed about it. You thought it was funny. You didn't give a shit. You were under fire on Twitter for weeks until you finally backed away.
I haven't backed away from any of those statements.
Yeah.
You can go find the
You haven't backed away from any of them?
No, not at all.
You don't care that the guy died, right?
People died. Rallies.
Yeah, you don't care.
When this side is involved in some of the most violent, divisive. Here's a question.
Care about misinfo?
Here's a question. That has nothing to do with misinfo. Here's a question.
Wait.
Do you disavow any of the rhetoric about Paul Pelosi? Do you disavow any of the rhetoric about Paul Pelosi?
What? Even if I made any outrageous claim possible, has nothing to do with your claim, which is what we're talking about. We're talking about your claim. Stop switching.
He doesn't, of course not.
Stop
switching
the
goalposts. He doesn't acknowledge what happened on January 6th. He doesn't acknowledge that people are turning away FEMA right now because they're convinced that the federal government is going to take their houses.
Stop spurging.
You are, you're just engaging all the time. You can say stop spurging over and over again. I'm not here to talk about my tweets, but if that's what you really want to talk about, you do it. I've tweeted crazier shit than that, I promise.
Are you going to acknowledge that you said totally fine? You didn't care. You just said right now you don't care.
You can look at all my
How is it now? Let me explain how it's.
I'm
going to explain how it's misinformation.
Okay.
Because don't you think that if you make claims like Donald Trump is un-American, Donald Trump doesn't like the Constitution, and then you have an assassin come, he tries to kill Donald J. Trump at a rally, another American dies? Aren't you spreading misinformation by saying to people this is okay? Isn't that un-American?
I don't think I've ever said this is okay. I've said over and over again that there shouldn't be any political violence in the United States. It's not good. You can laugh. You guys are the ones that
Donald Trump said that at January 6th. He said it during January 6th.
After he sat and watched it happen for 3 hours.
After the guy died, now you're sorry about your rhetoric.
Who said I was sorry?
Yeah, you're not sorry.
Please stop projecting onto me. I never said I was sorry about anything.
Yeah,
I've not said that. Yeah, unlike you, I have a spine over the things that I say, okay? Number one. Number two, Donald Trump and your side are the ones that have engaged in divisive rhetoric for years. This idea that saying Donald Trump is un-American when Donald Trump himself says that he would be a day one dictator, if he would suspend the Constitution. I'm sorry, if the divisive rhetoric
is quoting
Donald Trump, that's Donald Trump's problem. Maybe
your rhetoric has led to assassination attempts, and one of the guys who died there, you don't even give a shit, and I've said this multiple times. And at the same time, you're like, oh, I love America. What kind of bullshit is this, Destiny?
Unbelievable.